Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Lex Gray here. Today we'll be starting a new one-shot. This will be using Dungeons and Dragons Basic Expert. So, I don't have copies of either Basic Expert, but I do have this. This was released back in 1994 for a box set. It's basically like an introductory uh, rules for D&D. And it's titled A Classic D&D. At least based on what I've seen from the book, it definitely resembles BX, or at least the early stages of Beckney. Now, for the title, this is a dungeon crawl, and it's called The Dungeon of Asas the Terrible. This dungeon right here was generated using Donjon, which is a website of very useful generators for RPGs, not just D&D. Now, I have these four character sheets. This will be our party of four, which are from this book, the same design of a character sheet, the BX version. And these four are going to explore this rather small dungeon. Now, with the Donjon Dungeon Generator, there are several versions you can choose from. It provides you not only with the map, but also with key ingredients, details about each room. I'm going to keep these on the side. I don't want to spoil every room for you guys. I want you at least to be surprised. I will look at this on the side and explain what the party runs into. So, I don't know how long this will go. This might go for multiple episodes, but this is going to be a one-shot with these four characters. Now, let's introduce the four characters. We have, of course, the usual assortment, and at least to my preference, we have a fighter. His name is Barvel. He is lawful. Uh, with solo play, I like to max out their HP based on the hit die, and then give them the adjustments as necessary based on their stats. So you can look at their stats here. I won't go through everything, but basically his strength is primary at 16. That gives him a +2. Then he has a 9 for intelligence, 13 for wisdom. That gives him a +1 for magic-based saving throws. 14 for dexterity. That gives him a +1 and a boost for his armor class. This is Thyko. We're basically descending AC. Dexterity 14 again. Constitution 14. Charisma is a terrible 3. I rolled up these 6 with 3d6 for each character, and I basically put them in the scores I wanted to. He has a sword, chainmail, shield, and a few items. And that's his character sheet. He is obviously some languages. Now, I will be playing the rules lightly, not following every single rule in Beckney, or at least in Basic Expert. Just be forewarned. Our next character is our magic user. His name is Elkart. He's lawful, and of course they all start level 1. His hit die is 1d4, so he has 3 because his dexterity, or should I say constitution, is a -1, which put him down to 3 from 4, and his armor class is 9. So 7 strength, his primary 15 intelligence, 8 wisdom, 11 dexterity, 7 constitution, and 6 charisma. So not terrible numbers, but not great besides intelligence. And you in this version, I believe in basic you don't actually get a level 1 spell with a magic user, if I'm not mistaken. In this one, they do give you a level 1 spell. So I gave him magic missile, and it's a 1d6 + 1 with automatic hit. There are no saving throws against the magic missile in this game. And he has a spellbook, which is just something I gave him, dagger, and a few other items. That's his character. So, next is going to be our thief, which will be right here. Let's see. Yep. Okay, our thief, I've used this name before, Khan. He is a thief, level 1, neutral, armor class 6, hit die d4, with a 5 due to +1 constitution. So, strength 12, intelligence 10, 13 wisdom, 14 dexterity, that's his primary, 13 constitution, 6 charisma. Now, earlier I just said that I will not be playing by the rules completely. I have a few house rules. Basically, I'm not using percentiles for his skills. I'm going to just roll advantage, which in my case I roll 2d20s, and I try to roll at or below the ability score for checks. And then obviously saving throws is the opposite. You roll at or above. So basically, it gives advantage for locks, traps, pockets, stealth, climb, hide, and listen. Those are basically compressed versions from his actual skill tree that's in the game based on percentile. And he has a short bow, short sword, leather. That's all he can wear based on his restrictions, and then a few other, actually a handful of items on top of that. That's our thief. Again, his name is Khan. You might notice a pattern here with the names. And then our final character at this party is Marp. Marp is a dwarf class. He is lawful, level 1, hit die 1d8 with a stick with a max 8, armor class 4. His primary is 13 strength, 10 intelligence, 10 wisdom, 9 dexterity, 11 constitution, 8 charisma. He knows all the languages dwarves know. And similar, I have advantage for his skills, mining, detect traps, or basically, I should say, detect the following: traps, doors, quarters, and construction, new construction. Then looking is another skill, basically. And yes, that's pretty much it. He has a +1 on melee. My characters have a random assortment of advantages and disadvantages regarding melee and missile. He has a hand axe, chainmail. He has no armor restrictions, so it's a shield. That puts him on AC again at 4 with a few items. And that's our character for our dwarf. And you might notice there is no cleric. I am terrible at clerics, never really use them, and really don't plan on it. So let's begin. I have the one-page mythic cutout here of the discovery meeting table on the side, just in case we need some guidance from our non-existent DM. And we will be starting in just basically table 1, or room 1. As far as lore or story or character development, not much we found here. I'm just doing a procedurally generated dungeon crawl and following mechanics, doing some dice rolling, doing some combat, traps, etc. Just having kind of fun with it, keeping it very, very basic, pun intended. Now, you notice that the names, it's BECM. Uh, I'm going off Beckme, just an obvious uh, little tidbit there, but basically you've got Barvel, we have Elcard and Khan, and then Mark. So again, this spells out part of Beckme, even though this game is more in line with BX, which Beckme is kind of carries that mantle even further. Now, let's officially start. So, in room 1, I will tell you guys what the cheat sheet says here. We have in the west entry, there is a trap here, and it's locked. A good wooden door. It says a good lock. There is a pit trap in here, which right here leads into room 5. So the pit trap is part of the door, I'm going to assume, and that's the west entry to room 5. The east entry goes into room 2, which is actually inhabited by something. Won't go that far just yet. South entry is room 3, also infested. But for now, we are in room 1, and I say that the starting room, it is empty. We're not going to throw our characters into the meat grinder just yet, because again, Beck meat can be earlier versions of D&D. The low HP can be rather deadly. That's why I gave them the max possible plus or minus the constitution adjustment. So let's basically figure out which room our team wants to explore, our party. I'm thinking with these group of adventurers, they want to explore as much as they can before having to return to home base, wherever that may be. So we can just decide, I can just assume that our characters want to explore room 5, or at least this door here. So they approach the west entry, west, north, etc. And they have to basically spot the trap. Now, the trap, I'm going to say does at least 1d4 damage if they fail to do a saving throw, if applicable, which I would believe may be, let's see, what saving throw would be for traps, or to avoid it was using dexterity. But the character I think here who will most likely see the trap is going to be our either the thief or the dwarf. Let's say the thief. Let's try him first. So Alphard is going to, sorry, Khan is going to attempt a find a trap, basically traps, which is a condensed version. And he's going to roll advantage. So we'll use this 2 die here, T220s, and we're trying to roll below a target number. So because I compressed with the removal of a percentiles, the target number is no longer applicable. We have to choose it based on maybe modern D&D. So I'm going to use wisdom. So here we go. This is basically a perception roll to see if you can spot this trap before they cross over. And we're rolling advantage. So rolling 2d20 with 14 or less. And we have a 7, the 2 here. These are both going to succeed. So he's able to detect the trap and tells the party to watch out. And it's going to have to disarm it. Now, disarming it is another roll. So let me gather. Okay, so he has disarm the trap. That is one of his skills. It's basically just under traps here. We're rolling to see if he can disarm it. And if he does, they will be able to get through. It is locked though, so this roll is mainly for the trap first, and then we'll have to roll again to pick pick the lock. Now, this will be let's say intelligence, so 10 or less, either wisdom or intelligence. I'm gonna say let's do intelligence. All right, so intelligence is 10. We are able to successfully disarm that trap. So on the paper here, I will record that this trap has been disarmed. And they are able to now pick the lock, which will be dexterity. And let's roll for that now. So while he's doing that, I'd say the dwarf is becoming impatient and wants to break the door down himself. He wants to show off his strength and break it. So he shoves the thief, Khan, out of the way, and Mark is basically going to take a strength check. And we'll see if this qualifies for advantage. Let's say he's going to examine the door to see if there's a weak point, and that will be an advantage roll using wisdom. So let's roll for wisdom. We're doing 10 or less. This is for Marp. And a critical. Nope, he's not, because this is a 20 on the die. This little logo here. The 12 is not successful, so he's not able to detect a weak point on the door, but he's going to try it nevertheless. So if he was able to detect a weak point, I would have let him roll strength with an advantage, but it's not going to be the case. So he's rolling just a straight d20 to break the door down using strength at a 13 or less. 5. Okay, he's able to break the door down. So we're going to put an X here, and they enter room 5. So room 5, I'm going to mark down that the door 1 has been passed through, has been broken down, and now in room 5, that loud noise most likely alerted anything, if there is anything in here. I haven't really turned the page yet that far, but let's see what's in room 5. As they enter room 5, there are 3 entry points, or I should say, sorry, 2 unexplored entries, but they only see the one on the north end here. But in room 5, as far as what's in here, we do have a couple of things. First, there is a monster. It's a first level warrior, uh, Verfneblin, if I'm pronouncing that wrong. S. Verfneblin. So I'm going to have to research what that is. There is treasure, there is some other items, and then there is also a trap. So a couple of mechanical moves here. First, they did alert the monster, the uh, Verfneblin, that alerted them of their presence. So I'm going to put a red die that symbolizes, that represents the monster. As we encounter, we have our first encounter. Now, typically, in D&D, there is in basic, you have the order of events, like for missile attack, range attacks, magic. There's a morale check. Um, there is a melee, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to go the traditional route, the modern day route, and just do initiative. I just feel like changing up the rules a little bit. So basically, we're going to roll for initiative on per party. So it's just the one monster because it just says one first level. Now we gotta give him some stats, like what is his attack uh, potential, what is his AC based on the first level. I'm thinking maybe AC 9 or 8, and then his HP die, his hit die. So we have a enemy here. So I'll put enemy, his initiative, and then we'll line them up here in a second. But his initiative will be rolled with a d20, and then his damage, and then his AC. Now the his Thaco, to hit us, if he's a first level, to hit me his AC 0, will be, let's see, if he's level 1, I'm going to say he's similar to us. So we'll put him at a 19 to hit us. His AC is going to be, let's just say it's 8. Maybe he's wearing something. His damage, we'll put him, this is our first enemy. I'm going to make it a little easy, so a little easier than usual. I'll put D1, D4. His initiative, we're going to roll with a red die. And that's going to be 11. Okay? And that's really all the stats we need. Now, our team, we're going to roll initiative. Oops, shoot, that was a 3 before I dropped it. So the monster goes first. So the enemy goes first. Initiative. So it's 1. And then we have, oh, that's right, we need hit points. So let's do HP. We'll do, let's say 4. Okay, so he has 4 hit points. We have our characters. So we have Barvel. We have, I almost forgot his name. We have Elcard. This is the enemy here, so it goes first. We have Khan. That's here go. A. And then we have Mark. Okay. And I will tally the damage they make. So my apologies. This will be basically the tally, but this is the initiative in order that they go for this combat round. Now, combat will be just step by step. We will not be dictating how far they are, what weapon they're using in terms of the enemy. Basically, we're just going down the order here, keeping it very simple. So the green D20 is our roll. Actually, I'm going to stick with the blue here. The blue D20 is our characters, our party, while the red is going to be the enemy. So let's begin. The enemy is the one who goes first. So he will attack, let's say, we'll roll a d4 to decide who he attacks each time. He'll attack 2, which is going to be our magic user, unfortunately, Elcard. But is Elcard in range? That's the thing. So if this monster, which I'm going to pause the video for a moment. Okay, I had to brush up on my history of D&D, and I did not realize that the Swervenevelin name is actually a deep gnome. So I just wrote deep gnome, and thinking if it's a deep gnome that's working, or at least in these this dungeon, it's going to rely on melee combat, so it does not have a ranged weapon. So it is going to attempt and run up at the unfortunately the magic user that we rolled up here as the one being attacked, and most likely kill the magic user in one blow. But because it is going to be the first attack, I'm rolling for the Thaco, which needs to hit a 9, so that's going to be 11. Oh, actually, I forgot one big mention here to make math just a little easier. This might piss off a few of you guys, but I'm going to use AD&D logic and increased the standard THACO to 20 for all characters. Typically, it's 19, if I'm not mistaken, for Beckman or Basic Expert. I'm increasing the to THACO because it just makes the math slightly easier. So to hit for this one, it needs an 11. So I have all the characters adjusted also to 20 here. So as you can see, it's already been updated. Now, let's continue. We're rolling to attack against uh, Elcard, and we're rolling. Let's see. I'm going to do this. I'm going to roll 2d20s with a disadvantage because he's running. This is not a game rule, but this is just going to be a house rule. I want to give my characters just a slight chance. It's the first character. And I could have just said, well, maybe the players could have gone first, but that's not what happened. So he's roll 11, but I'm going to roll disadvantage because he's running. So he got startled and he's running at our party attacking Elcard. And look at that. With disadvantage, the 12 is just literally one number over. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. With Thaco, you're trying to roll at or above. And it is going to be the 4 here. That's a disadvantage. So it misses. Okay. Now it's going to be we have Barbell, who's going to attack with this enemy AC of 8, and that means it's going to require a hit of 18. Now, Marvell has a bonus melee of uh, +2, so he's using his sword, and that means he has to roll with a +2, aiming for 12 or more. Here we go. Oh, look at that. I roll 12 plus 2 is a 14. Now that damage is actually a bonus to melee damage. So now we're going to roll with that 12 here on the table. His short sword is a d6, and I'm going to roll a d6 here momentarily and add a +2 damage to the roll. This is against the deep gnome. So that's 5, which takes out the deep gnome completely. Okay, that has defeated the deep gnome. I'm going to erase the lineup here. We'll keep that rating there for future encounters. Now, with that done, let's pull up the book and see how much XP our fighter gets for that. Now, this book does have a bestiary, and as I try to find it, monsters, we have 68. I'm going to try to find a character, a monster that's similar to a deep gnome or a gnome in general, and looking for the experience. It did, I think, drop some treasure too, so I can't forget about that. Basically, our monster list is actually page, let's see, 92, I believe. Nope, here it is. Okay, so we have crocodile. We got look for gnome or something similar. There, okay, here we got gnome. I don't see any variants of that. Okay, so gnome is XP value 10. So that gives our character, where my pencil's hiding, he gets 10 experience for that attack because he's the one who got the kill. I could give it to everybody, but I'm going to be stingy on that and just do a little 10 here. And then for, let's see, I will give the treasure. So basically defeated that monster, so he's been killed. by Barville. Just taking note of what happened. And then there is treasure. He drops 50 gold pieces. So Barville will get that. Let's see, plus 50, which gives another, which gives him 210 gold pieces. And then also dropped a breastplate. Now the breastplate, he has chainmail. I have to see if breastplate is higher or even mentioned in the book at all for armor. I don't know if it's part of the system here. So let's go to AC. I think I passed it. We're looking for equipment. There's okay. Plate mail doesn't really say breastplate per se. I'm gonna say maybe he gives it chainmail. I think breastplate would fall and maybe a custom AC6 perhaps. So let's just say AC6. He'll probably hold on to it for now. I'll just put a star on what he has equipped. He has a shield equipped and he has a sword equipped. But basically, breastplate, maybe he'll sell it. That's AC6. I could be mistaken on its level compared to the others. And then I'm trying to see if he wants to give it to someone else who can wield that. So magic user can't wear armor. Thief cannot have armor that high. The dwarf also has chainmail. That would not be a benefit to him at all. So then the final item this deep gnome dropped was a horde total. So a total of, let's say, I'll put the value of the item here. So it's 200 gold pieces. And then that's going to be 200. There's a horde total of 250 gold pieces for everybody. So we'll have to do the math here. Okay, so just to keep it simple, we'll do 60 gold pieces each, basically. So now he's at 270. That's 60 gold pieces. And then we'll do 60 gold pieces for Alcard. Alcard. Let's see, 60 gold pieces. That gives him 60 experience. They'll put him up to 180 total. And then that's 60 gold pieces for Khan. That puts him up at 190. And then last but not least, we have Mark, who gets also 60, and now he is at 160 gold pieces for friend Mark, who almost, all right, good. Now we can get rid of this D4. Make sure you guys can see the screen here. There we go. Okay, we are completed and defeated that roaming, or I should say occupant. And now, with that done, I'm going to put a check mark in this room that we completed that. In 5, actually, now there's traps. So, and there is hidden treasure also. So a couple of things here we have to do with the formalities. So we have to do the trap. That will be as they are now walking about halfway through the room. We're going to roll for basically a perception roll for, I think, the character who will do best in this department, and that'll be our thief. Give him the chance to, or actually, let's do the dwarf. Let's let him do a roll here. Mark. So I think he'll have another roll after this. So we're rolling for detect traps. And typically you do that with a 1d6, but again, I'm just doing an advantage roll. And I'm going to be using wisdom for this one. And oh, that's obviously successful with wisdom. So he detects the trap, and it's basically the trap is a hail of needles shooting from the ceiling down. So he's able to warn them, each member of it, and avoid where the needles are positioned, where the launchers in the ceiling are positioned. So we avoided that trap. If he failed, they would have got um, attacked by a hail of needles. Now, Marp wants to do his next roll, and he wants to look for something, which will be, again, wisdom. So this is basically looking for the remaining. There is hidden treasure. There is a hidden treasure in this room, along with some gold. So we're doing advantage with wisdom, 12, and unfortunately, none of these succeeded. So he's not able to get we're not able to see the hidden treasure. Basically, the hidden treasure was a trapped and locked simple wooden chest with a common lock. So I'm going to have to put an X there, and they failed to get that. Now, the thief can certainly try. Maybe I'll let the thief try, but I'm going to do, because the dwarf failed, I'm going to go to our thief, and who is, there he is, our thief, Han, and give him a chance to do the same. Again, we're not doing percentile, we're doing the 2d20s, and we're rolling for wisdom 13 or less. But because the dwarf did not see everything, was not able to see, I'm going to take away a few items that are not part of the loot. So basically, uh, there is some gold, but there's also a trap. And I'm going to keep that trap on there. So the only thing in this locked wooden chest is gold. And I would think that if originally the dwarf was able to find the loot, find this chest wherever it's hiding, then he would have been able to detect that there was a trap inside of it. I would have done maybe a double whammy of that roll and allow him to detect the trap. But that's not the case. So now the thief is going to have us go with wisdom, 13 or less, advantage. Okay, so he does find the chest. Now, he approaches it and is going to see it's locked. Now, he is a thief, and that's his specialty. So I'm going to roll, once again, wisdom or at dexterity to pick the lock. So here we go. We're going to pick a lock for the this wooden chest, and we get one success. So that's going to be the 7 there. He opens it, and there is a trap. So because he was not because the dwarf failed, I'm going to have to roll a dexterity check or a saving throw. Actually, this may be. Let's say it will be. I'm going to say poison death ray, perhaps. Let's do no. Let's do spells and magic staff. That's just a saving throw, 15 or more, because of the trap. If not, he takes one damage. 11. That's a fail. So he takes 1 damage for it's a burning hands trap. So he takes 1 hit. Well, actually, I can just mark here how many tallies damage he takes. So he takes 1 damage. The trap is dispersed, and with that, he finds 90 gold pieces altogether. So he's going to hoard that for himself, and now he's at 280. So he has a 90 experience added to that, and that is it for the trap and the gold pieces. Now the room is cleared. Next, they are going to choose another pathway. Let's say they want to go up here, which is the first door they saw. I'm thinking that's probably the path they want to choose. They go to that door. Now this door here, which is the north entry, is unlocked, good wooden door. So there's no problem getting inside. As they get inside room 21, which I have to now go to the very last page of my notes here, they're going to find the following. Let's see. Room 21. Okay, so room 21. Oh, interesting. Okay, has a trap a trapped wooden portcullis. So it's a portcullis trap, but that's on the east entry. Let's see. The problem is it's a corridor, so there's a couple of uh, aspects here. So the room on the left is closed off on both sides. There's a stuck iron door, which is this one here on the north end. Then there's the portcullis trapped one that's on the south side of it. The room features say someone has scrawled a draconic face on the north wall, and a shattered hammer lies in the northwest corner of the room. So that's technically going to be within the 21 room. So now the corridor has no there's no mention of the corridor's characteristics in this game in this on this. So I'm assuming that there's really no potential for encounter just yet. So they enter here. They look to the right. They see a hallway, but they look to the door here, so which is more intriguing. So the door, the first door, I should say, is going to be. Let me put a check mark near 5 because we finished that room off. The door that they're first at is going to be a. I'm assuming the trapped wooden portcullis. It's a portcullis trap. It says now. How deadly is a trap of portcullis? I couldn't know. But I'm going to say that this will be the dwarf because this is his specialty. It's a door. And it's not, I don't think it's really rigged to trap. I think it's just broken and it is not open. So they're not really, they could explore the corridor more, but I think they're more interested in the door itself. They can see through it because it's a portcullis. Now, we're going to find our Mark, his character sheet. There he is. Okay. Mark is our 4th character. And he's going to attempt and roll with advantage, because this is a specialty, a way of fixing or opening this door. This will be wisdom. So here we go. We're rolling wisdom. And that d20 that flew off the table, I'm going to re-roll that. There we go. Wisdom is 10. Unfortunately, neither of these are successful. So he can't figure out why the door is broken as they try to open it, but he's going to now use his sheer strength to try to open it himself. If he does, it may hurt him. So if he fails, it will hurt him. I'm going to say that I'm going to make that trap relevant. Maybe he cuts himself or something. Just a flesh wound. So he's using his strength to open it himself. And that'll be 13 or less. That's a fail. He's not able to open it. So we're going to have to do a wound. He'll get hurt here once. Almost erased the 8 there for some reason. Now, the door is still stuck. And let's see what else our characters can do. Let's look at some items. We have a torch. We have a couple of options here for, or the character maybe a thief wants to try to open himself, but there's no lock on it, so he can't really pick it. So Khan is going to, he's off the bat now. He's going to try to figure out what he can do here. Basically, he can't pick it because there is no lock. So it's just stuck. I'm sorry, the stuck iron door is this door on the north end. This door is just it's not locked. I'm gonna say they're actually both stuck at this point because the room details are it's a trapped wooden portcullis, but that does not say there's a lock on it. So I'm thinking that I probably misread this, and it was trapped. So whatever the trap is, he needs to disarm it. So again, my apologies, I mixed it up. It is trapped, and if they disarm the trap, they can open the door. That's what we'll do. So his specialty is disarming. So I'm going to roll for wisdom or dexterity if he can disarm it. And shoot, he's not able to disarm it. All right, he can't get it either. So unfortunately, he's not able to disarm it, and he is going to back away. Now they're going to have to go around. So they're going to travel this corridor here, and now they approach the stuck iron door. Now the iron door just says it's stuck. That's it. Well, we haven't really seen much of our fighter, so I'm going to give him a chance to act into something. Barbell, his strength is actually pretty decent. It's 16, so we're going to let him roll to see if they can just open the door with pure strength. So here we go. Not 6. Okay, he's able to open the door. So as he opens the door, they get inside. So let's say they're not able to get through the trap portcullis, but they got through the stuck iron door, and they see the draconic face on the north wall, and a shattered hammer lies in the northwest corner of the room. But there's no other items in here. So as they go inside, we're going to the shattered hammer actually intrigues the dwarf, and he's going to take that for himself. He thinks it has some sentimental value. There's something strange about it. So I'm going to say shattered hammer, but I'll put a question mark because we just don't know what it is. Maybe there is something interesting about it we can discover later on. All right, so they're done with room 21, like that, and they're back into room 5. Now, at room 5, there is another entrance there to room 6 that they want to go explore. So they're going to go towards room 6. And room 6, the west entry, which is where we're standing at, currently, it is basically a stuck good wooden door. It leads into room 5, which where our character is. And basically, we have to find a way to open this door with brute strength. There is no lock on it. It's just stuck. But because it's a wooden door, I'm going to let the advantage of Marp, or not Marp, of our Barvel open it with, again, his brute strength. And I'm going to do advantage because it's just a wooden door. So it's not exactly that challenging. So let's roll to see, let's see what happens here. Room 6. All right, here we go. Rolling with advantage. And 16. Oh, ties of force. Nice. I think with ties, it's not it's just a house rule, not in the game. I'm gonna give him an extra benefit. Not only does he open the door, they get through safely. There was no real trap on it, anyways. We have to see what it does for our team. Let's pull up our D100. Start meeting and see what happens. 82. We have official, and then 2 official, artificial, official, artificial. So something that's artificial in the room that is official for the story, perhaps. So let's look into room 6, see what its details are. Now, we pass through the west entry, like so, and then we are now in room 6, which means the room features are iron chains hang from the ceiling in the south side of the room, here, and several wax blobs are scattered throughout the room. Wax blobs. Now, there is no monster here, but I'm going to say that there is a slain monster in here, and that's because of the matching force that Barvel was able to roll. So, what does that mean for our character? Well, let's just say that they loot the character, this slain monster, or maybe it's a humanoid character. Let's say it's Cobalt, and I'm going to write that down actually as a extra, as a modifier in these rules. So slain Cobalt. It has a helmet that it probably stole. So our character's going to take that helmet, and typically that does not give you a boost in AC, but I'm going to give that a boost to our character. So now his AC is at 2. Protects his head. All right, so he has a helmet now, and there was 100 gold pieces. So I'm going to bump that up to 370 gold pieces based on the 100 he found. All right. Now, there's nothing else in the room that is of interest besides the iron chains hanging from the ceiling on the south side. So when they walk around, they see those iron chains, and maybe there's bodies or skeletons hanging from them. So it's a very gruesome image to look at. Now, they take note of a couple of entry. There's actually 4 entryways to explore here, all new rooms and or corridors. So they want to take a look at this small one here, which is the east entry, unlocked good wooden door. So they enter this corridor. This corridor is classified as C. So C is a hail of needles, which means uh, it is going to fire, kind of like Indiana Jones style, fire not darts per se, but needles flying from the wall. So, in order for them to get at least to this area here, they have to do a saving throw per character to get through this obvious hail of needles. Now, let's roll for that per character. Saving throw. Let's say the saving throw will be Dragon Breath, which is probably not right, but I'm thinking that will be good for now. So we're rolling for Dragon Breath. Barvel has a 16, so he needs a 16 or less. 11, or I'm sorry, 16 or more, that's a fail, so he takes 1 wound. Then we have Alcard, his Dragon Breath is also 16. Whoops. That's a 10. He's failed, so he takes. There we go. He takes 1 damage. And then Khan has a Dragon Breath of 16. 4, that's another wound. Okay, so Khan is actually halfway to death. And then Marp takes a saving throw of 13, actually. I probably should be doing dexterity for this, actually. So I don't think this actually qualifies for a magic saving throw. Or a saving throw per se. Alright, let me do this. I'm going to restart this and scratch away the wounds. I don't think I was doing that right. Especially with needles. Yeah, so I'm going to take that away from Alcard. And then I'm going to minus the 1 away from Khan. Yeah, I'm just not happy with that. So I'm going to go back to the top and do a dexterity check for each character. So they need 14 or less for Barvel. Okay, so he's fine. Dexterity for Alcard is 11. 12, that's... Okay, so he's back to 1 wound. Khan is... actually, I'm going to roll him with advantage because he's a thief. So that's going to be dexterity. Yep, 14 is his dexterity, so he's fine in that department. And then we have Marp, who has a dexterity of 9, so not too impressive. Oh, but he's good. Okay, so back to the top here. They are able to get through that corridor of needles. I probably could have rolled for a dexterity check, or they probably should have played a little safer. Now they're going to play it safer. They're like, okay, this place is booby-trapped every so often. We have to be careful. And now they're in corridor, or at least they are at these 2 doors. So room 24, I'll mark off we just did C. Room 24 is this small little room on the left of what you guys are looking at. It's the last room actually on my list. And it is has quite a bit of stuff. So the east entry access point to room 24 has it is secret trapped and locked iron door common lock. So it is trapped, but it's also locked. The room inside has several egg clubs are cut into the north and south walls, and a pile of trash lies on the east side of the room. There is 1 monster in it, and it's a Grimlock with treasure and a hoard, basically treasure. So the door is concealed by an illusion. So basically, there's an S there. I just missed that, and it's a fire trap. So it's fired if it's not perceived correctly. Now, this is basically a wisdom check. Maybe an advantage with dwarf, but we have to roll for wisdom, like a passive roll, basically. So rolling for wisdom for Barvel. Actually, you know what? I would say either the magic user, or I'm thinking in this instance, I believe Khan and Marp are most qualified to spot this door. So Or actually, no, the dwarf will be most qualified to spot this illusion. So he's looking, and the illusion might have some irregularities based on his experience with new construction. So this will be Door's advantage roll, and it might not be. I think it may qualify for the magic user being familiar, but he doesn't have detect magic in his spell book, so we cannot do that. So we're rolling with advantage for um, basically detecting this door with his roll of wisdom or less, 10 or less. The 8 qualifies. So he sees the door. The illusion is broken, and he sees the door. At least he tells the others he sees it. And he's thinking because the door is an illusion and most likely is trapped with something very. They believe as a team that something very. There might be some loot behind the door. So let's see who is going to try to pick the door. That's going to be basically Khan will pick the door here. And Khan has a this will be dexterity for 14 or less. He's going to try to pick the door carefully, as the dwarf tells him. He says if it's a if the illusion was there for a reason, the door might trap, so you kind of be careful. And I'm going to roll 14 or less for successful. Okay, he failed, so critical fail, 16. He can't pick the door, which means the trap will be triggered, which is fire. So our thief has been having encounters with fire traps today, which means he's going to have to uh, do a saving throw. I think this might be perhaps a spell of saving throw. So we'll do his spell is 15 or more. Oh, ooh, nice critical one. All right, so the spell with the critical success, which is again not in the game, but with the critical success, the door. Let's see what kind of door it is. It is a uh, iron door, so the fire cannot really destroy it per se, but the fire burns out. I'll let that success say that the fire does burn out and doesn't last too long, so our team can maybe try to break that door down. So it's common lock. All right, with that success, I'll let him try to pick the lock with advantage, with actually 3 advantage because he's a thief, and that's one of his specialties. So the critical one carries over. It shifts over as uh, a a a bonus. So we're doing dexterity. We picked a lock. So we got another critical. Nice. So it is a success. He's able to pick the lock, but going inside, they open it cautiously. The door opens to reveal, because it's critical, I'll let them have initiative here. And yes, there is a encounter we have to now prepare for. Okay, so if I'm looking at this right, a Grimlock is a medium humanoid creature, typically neutral evil. They have hit points of 11. This is based on D&D Beyond, so this is a D&D 5 by comparison. So, which means I have to slightly convert, or I can check the book for a Grimlock character, which we certainly can do. Grimlock, if that character is was common back then, doesn't look like. So what I'll do is modify that to, let's say, a larger creature. Let's look to see what we have here as options. Maybe a giant leech. That could be fun. Yeah, let's just use one of the characters from here. All right, so we have a giant leech, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna erase that. Well, it is the monster. I'll just put N for monster. Or uh, yeah, let's just do leech. So giant leech, and it's let's see, initiative will be. I'll let the characters go first because of that critical. So the damage of this is a 1d6. So we have d6. The AC typically is going to be 7. So we do at least a 13 or higher. It's Psycho. It's a level 1, so I'm going to give that to the 20. And it looks like it's being ranked as a level 1 character. And so it has a bite. It's just a giant leech. So hit die, I'm going to say it is going to be, let's say, it says 6 hit die. That's plenty, probably too much for our team. I'm going to say, let's say 8. Might be a little troublesome. All right, good. So we have our character set. Our team will go first. We have, let's get our character sheets organized here. It's all over the place. And we'll keep track of the G leech. Technically, it's supposed to go last. So let's see what we got here. We have Barvel. We have Elcard. We have Khan, and then Mark. And then the leech. Geo. This is just to keep track of our wounds. All right. Now, Barvel is going to use his sword against the giant leech. Its AC is 7, which means it has to get a 13 or higher to land a hit. So it has a +2 on melee for melee hit and melee damage. So we're rolling with +2 on this roll. 7 is a 9, the bonus. That means 9 is not successful to get the 13. All right, so Barbell is a miss. Next is Elcard. He's going to use his magics for today, and that's Magic Missile, which hits automatically, so that's 1d6. That's all he can do for today. For 1d6. Oh, wow. Holy crap. That's perfect. So 1d6 plus 1 is 6 damage. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Now it's down to 2 more. 2 damage left. Okay, so that's all he can do for today. I'm going to basically put a square here, show that he used up his magic. And now it is Khan's turn. He's going to basically use his short bow, but the room is pretty small. I don't think it's actually really going to qualify for any ranged distance. So let's change our approach here and use his short sword, a d6, which he has no bonus on. But nevertheless, he's going to roll for a 13 or more with no bonus with his deck, if it hits. 7 is unfortunately not enough. He needed 13, so that's a miss. This leech is squirming around and avoiding the damage. All right, last character to make any dent at all is our dwarf. He's a strong guy, 13, so which is decent. He's going to use his hand axe, which is his only weapon actually, and we're rolling with a +1 on this roll. We need to get 13 or more. Nice. There we go. 13, 14 total. So that's +1 for damage. His hand axe is a d6. That's going to be 4 total damage, thus defeating the leech. Yep, and he's out. Okay, the giant leech has been taken care of. Has been defeated. Luckily, our team did not take any damage. A few misses here and there, but we were able to survive. So, in defeating that, this was Marp's kill. Marp got his first kill for today, I think. The giant leech has an astonishing value, which I think might be a little overkill because I did nerf it. I'm going to say, what was the other one we had earlier today? It was, let's see. You know what? I have an idea. So the HP value was, I think it was either 60 or 90 was Khan. No, Khan didn't have the first kill. It was fighter. So 10. Let's do, let's do 20 per se. HP. Yeah, let's do 20. It might be. Next, the book says 275, but we didn't give him 6 hit die. We gave him practically just 1. So I'm trying to think of a house rule where the quick way to calculate the XP based on let's say let's figure this out together. So let's think of a house rule here. We have the there we go. We have HP. I think was a 8. His Thaco was 7. Oh, I'm sorry, it was 20. So Thaco doesn't really That's obvious. His AC was 7, and his damage was a 6, D6. Let's say we add these together based on damage. So 6, that's 13, and then okay, yeah, I'm gonna try that for moving forward. So D6 is 6, and then that'd be 12, 13, and then 13. That's going to be let's see, I think 21. So he gets 21. Yep, 21 XP for that monster. So 21 kill. Now the creature did drop a few things, and he dropped 100 gold pieces. So that is for I think the dwarf will keep this for himself, or he may give a little bit. So let's say he keeps it for now. And you know what? Anything that has a horde value, I'm just gonna just it's just gonna be a team value. So they will track gold for each individual team, but they can share it amongst themselves if they need to. They're all pretty wealthy actually at this point because I just gave them the items during the character creation process. I didn't spend it, which you typically do. So there you go. That is going to be the conclusion of room 24. But they need just to take a short rest because they are a few of them are hurt. So plus our magician can heal up, but because they're going to take a short rest, we need to do a wandering monster roll before I conclude this episode, which will be episode 1 of this dungeon crawl. So the dungeon of Aces the Terrible. Now wherever Aces is hiding, if he is even here. So wandering monster rolls a d6. Go. I'm going to say, um, let's see. There is a monster wandering list, but I'm going to do a different approach to this. I'm just going to roll. The blue die is a yes. The red die is a no. If we have an encounter here, that is a no. We don't. Okay, so they're able to rest up without any disruption, which means uh, our magician, our magic user, I should say, has his magic missile back. He's able to spend an hour reading from the spell book and memorizing the spell. And also, our team is able to heal up their injuries. So Elcart, who we are just talking about, is healed, and then Khan is able to heal up too, and so is Mark is able to heal up his damage. So there we go. All of our characters are healed up, and I will add up their XP later on. But that's going to be it. I have to head out here. I really enjoyed this, and I hope you guys did too. It's nice to be back to the tabletop traditional gameplay in recent videos. Now, let me know what you think of the math problem calculating their XP. So, it's a plus. Maybe you really don't consider THAC0. It's plus for HP. So it's the die type. So 6 plus AC. I should say this. Basically, the damage die, damage 1d, plus their XP HP equals their XP. I'm gonna try to remember that for next time. So, uh, which actually doesn't make sense because AC, I need to remember, is descending. So, maybe it is. Maybe it should be THAC0 because the higher the THAC0, the lower the THAC0, the easier it is to hit. Yeah, there is a flaw to this formula. I'm just noticing now because AC, I'm thinking it's traditional D&D 5, 3 or third edition or plus. That doesn't work. So AC can be perhaps a difference between 7 to 10. So the difference will be 3. So we can put AC difference from 10 or 7 over like that. Yeah. So for now, it might just be this. So damage plus HP is 8 XP. Or we can go by the book, but the problem is, like I said, we have the different XP values based on its recommended hit die. But normally you roll the hit die and you will get the number up. But if we look at the other characters who are not that troublesome, for example, this Cobalt here, he's only half hit die, so his 14 HP. It says, and because this again, the Leech Giant was probably too difficult if we would have been giving him 6 hit die. So again, we have the Minotaur here. That's probably a pretty chaotic creature. We have a Mule, which just has 2 hit die. So I can see the jump in levels of these character types of the XP. So I'll look online to find a calculator, or if there's other methods I'm missing it, or it could be completely obvious I'm just missing it because I'm a noob. But either way, I'll allow it to stay as I gave I gave the character, and we're basically left off because this will continue to another episode where we covered some of these rooms here on the north side, and I keep forgetting to mark off where we explored. There's that, and then there is 24. We're currently in room 24. Just a note for myself. So we went 1, 3, 21, 6, corridor, 24 with some loot. So that's really it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.